Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast. We have some new faces in the building today. We're hoping moving forward that this is going to be the new experience over here on the Reseller Island. I want to introduce my good friends Keith Vintage Sport Flips below
How's it going,
me.
Jake? Thanks for having me, man. Love to be here.
And then we have Soda City Flips on this side of me.
What's going on, guys?
Yep. So
I'm
we are.
impressed you pointed the right way. First off,
I
That's
know,
tricky.
yeah, it's
that's so
always
hard to do. Like I'm,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
There's
mean,
practice there.
I mean, I'm 29-year-old millennial here. You were usually dealing with Ben, so
right.
you know how it goes. But yeah, no. So we're here on the reseller island. We understand that reselling can be inherently lonely. You're doing a lot of the sourcing by yourself, listing by yourself. So the whole point of this podcast is to be somewhat educational, somewhat entertaining, but really we want to be your guys' co-workers while you're on the island of reselling by yourself. So you guys can have a podcast of fellow resellers and islanders to hang out with while you're working. So we're really hoping that we jive together and that everything flows well. If it doesn't, then we're just going to have to, disband already and see what happens from that. But yeah, how's this week in reselling been going for you guys?
Busy for me. I mean, I live streaming a ton. I try to do like at least a live stream a day somewhere, district, either First Class Treasures or somewhere else, or even still some whatnot. So definitely staying busy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Most people know from watching my channel that I'm not a big live streamer when it comes to selling. I used to sell on Whatnot quite a bit, just books, but man, ever since I discovered District, and I just recently I knew about it, but I didn't realize how much fun everybody was having over there.
Oh yeah.
So, especially on your platform over there or your marketplace, First Class Treasures, man, I've been having a blast, and I'm not staying as busy as Keith over there because Keith is doing like a show a day,
Yeah.
and I'm doing maybe 3 a week. But on top of eBay, man, the sales have been great. This week was awesome. Last night's show, I did almost $400 gross, so that was in an hour. That's fun,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, Keith, you remind me a lot of my wife because when we first got married, she was a full-time academic student. The way they do valedictorians are weird nowadays, but she was she was like one of 4 valedictorians for her high school, and then she was nominated to be valedictorian for her university, which was really awesome.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So she graduated with her bachelor's degree, like I think 5 semesters early, and then she was doing on average 19 credits each semester. And then she was also working as a CNA for 20 hours a week, and she was putting about 65 hours a week into soccer because she was on the university team. So
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
no, yeah. And then you on the other hand, you're doing your veterinarian stuff and
Yep.
you got live sales, static sales, YouTube channels. You got it all going on. So
Yeah, I don't like to sit and do nothing. Even if I'm watching like a movie with the wife, I'm on my phone like editing photos. So I'm always, you got to keep grinding if you want to do it, right?
yeah.
That's
Dude,
true.
honestly,
Hey,
that's
at
like
least he
something
didn't say you reminded him of his wife because how pretty you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shane, that's what you're for. You're the pretty boy here.
Yeah, that's me. I'll take it.
Yeah, sweet. But no, yeah, reselling has been really good. Like you guys said, I'm starting to do more live selling, and static selling is going extremely well. I'm kind of turning into this like kind of hybrid model for reselling, and it's working really well. Right now, I have just over 3,000 items in my eBay store, and I have more than 80% of that cross-listed to Mercari. I sell a lot of pocket knives and things like that, so they don't allow those listings over on Mercari. And then I have more than half of those items cross-listed to Poshmark as well. The way I do that is just everything under 5 pounds I cross-list to Poshmark. So I have like, I'm actually surprised. I'm gonna pull up my sales here. Like the weirdest things sell on Poshmark because everyone just thinks of it as like a closet.
Yeah.
But if we go to my orders, filter to Poshmark, yeah, I sold a Canon camera on there for $200. and then I
Oh,
sold
wow.
a Sony camera on there for 500, which I'm like pumped and grateful for. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I wish that would have sold on eBay because fees for cameras on eBay are only 9%, and on Poshmark it's 20. And even better if it would have sold on First Class Treasures because I own
There
that
you
platform, so it's only 5% for me.
5%. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no. And then I sold a Stanley mug on there. I sold a DOS Sunbox Bluetooth speaker, portable speaker, and then just a ton of eyeglasses and makeup and stuff. But I sell a lot of Coco Motions and stuff on Poshmark too. It's really weird.
Huh. I like
I've
that.
never found one of those.
Really?
Yeah, and you find them in every video you make.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
not
I
even sure
find
what a
like
Coco Motion is. Is that a toy? What's a Coco
no, a
Motion?
Coco Motion is a hot chocolate maker. I think
Oh, okay.
so. One of the principles in the Mormon religion that I'm a part of that is huge here in Utah is we don't drink coffee.
Oh,
And
wow.
so everyone loves hot chocolate. And so like, oh, I'm not gonna get a coffee maker, but I'll get a hot chocolate maker. I don't know. I find like 40 or 50 of them a year. I find them so often.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's honest. I think you're the only reseller that I watch on YouTube that I think finds those. Like I've never seen anybody else find one. So
Uh-huh.
it's just funny that you find them all the time.
And obviously, Osborne to Thrift. He's in Idaho right above me. He
Yeah,
doesn't make YouTube videos anymore, but he finds them all the time too. Honestly, I think that's how I discovered them was through him.
And I
gotcha.
do a lot of, I sell a lot on Etsy, and the similar idea with you, Jake, on Poshmark, where I'll sell things that people think of Etsy as like crafting and
Hmm.
handmade stuff, but I sell like antiques and vintage items over there. And the same idea for you on Poshmark, where people find other things they don't expect to find, and it sells fairly well for me over there. It's a similar vein.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping. So, like I said, I have 3,000 static listings, and then I'm doing a lot more live selling. And so what I'm doing is anything with a 50% sell-through rate or faster, I'm putting up as static on eBay and cross listing. And then anything that is less than 50% sell-through rate but cool, I sell on live shows, and it's going really well. And then eventually, as we grow these platforms on districts such as First Class Treasures, DibDit, Knickknacks, Crooked Spine, all of these other ones, I'm hoping that I can just shift to only listing 100% sell-through rate items on eBay, and then everything else live selling. But right now, it's just with the smaller audiences and things like that, I'm not getting like even close to eBay comps. Like it's usually between like 30 and 40%. I know like Dave and Kevin and those guys, they talk about getting like 60%. They've just done a lot better job of continuously making videos and marketing and things like that for DibDit. But I'm
Yeah.
sure that eventually it'll get there across the board on District.
Yeah,
And I'd love to only have 500 to 1,000 eBay items, and then everything else gets sold same day, same week on live. That'd be sick.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy too because you mentioned 500 to 1,000. I'm in that range on eBay. I have just under 600 items
Yeah.
right now, and I cannot list fast enough. All of a sudden, January and most of February was terrible for sales for me, and then all of a sudden, things are flying off the shelves, and like I'm struggling to keep up with it. Now, some can argue, well, stop doing the live selling, but like you, the things that I don't think are I've been selling a lot of cool stuff that should go on eBay just because I want to
Yeah.
give people a good deal and have them follow me and stuff. But most of the stuff I'm running over there is stuff that's going to take up inventory space in my building for way too long.
Yeah.
Right. In my
yeah.
opinion, the sell through rate isn't there, but I do like to throw some good items in there just to keep people interested in my shows and stuff. So it's been fun, but I am struggling to keep up with the eBay sales right now. So I
That's
I've got to figure out how to like balance my sourcing because I've been spending a lot of time sourcing specifically for live selling the
Hmm.
past few weeks because eBay wasn't doing as well for me. But now I got to find that balance and I'm looking forward to it. The rest of the year, I feel pretty good about it, and hopefully I can grow my store. Like I said, I'm just under 600 items. I think like 590 something. So
Uh-huh.
I'd like to get closer to 1,000 or maybe 1,500.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good number, a manageable number. I'm about the same as Jake. I think I have like 3,800 on eBay, another like 1,800 on Etsy that I don't cross list. I don't really.
Oh,
I did cross list a little bit and manually a couple items here and there, but mainly I don't cross list at all. But Jake, do you envision? I heard whisperings that District might allow cross listing at some point. Have you heard anything about that potential down the
yeah,
road?
so on First Class Treasures, my platform on District, we have a team set aside over at District that they will cross list for you. They
Okay.
have this like expensive software that it's called a scraper. So if all you do is you have to pay for a membership in First Class because this team is somewhat expensive. So if you sign up for $9.99 a month, then they will cross list your whole eBay store once. And
Wow.
then if you sign up for $14.99 a month, then they will continuously cross list all of your eBay items for you. You just send them your eBay name and proof of your subscription, and then they will scrape your whole eBay store and then upload it to
Oh wow.
District. That's really
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
So yeah, so
Yeah,
what
and
I do is I list 25 a day, and so every Monday I email District support.district support.district at district.net. Holy cow.
Yeah.
And they just they upload all the new items for me directly into my marketplace, which is awesome.
That's all. That is great. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure eventually down the line, months, maybe years, who knows how long, they will also include that as part of, the district service and stuff. But right now it's so new and expensive that we're taking care of it on a smaller level at First Class Treasures.
yeah, and every so as a marketplace owner, Jake, I don't know if you get on there, but every Tuesday they have
Mm-hmm.
their Microsoft Teams or Google Teams or whatever it is, and I get on there every Tuesday because I want to learn as much as I can since I'm started my own marketplace over there. Um, but somebody had asked about that the future and cross listing, and Ivan basically said right now they don't feel the need for it,
Yeah.
but as they grow, that need's gonna arise. I think with the teams they've set aside for pulling in eBay stores the way they are, I think they pretty much got it covered. But once this thing gets say as big as Whatnot, where there's tons and tons and tons of people over there, um, they're gonna probably have to implement some kind of a jump on with list perfectly or somebody, you know what I mean? But for
Yeah.
now, their internal team has been able to manage it, so that's the way they're doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of it. Again, like we're just three guys. What we talked about it beforehand. Keith has another full-time job, but he's like my wife, so he has three full-time
Yeah.
jobs.
Yeah.
So reselling is so we're all pretty much full-time resellers, and we sell a lot on eBay, we sell on Etsy, we sell on Poshmark, we sell on District. So this isn't just like a hey, we're shilling District and our own platforms. It's not a hey, we only talk about eBay. It's we talk about what's going on in our lives and in our
Yep.
in our careers, and a lot of that has to do with District and eBay and all that good stuff.
Sure.
But speaking of eBay, so this doesn't happen very often, but I shipped out a pretty rare baseball bat. It was a TPS Louisville Slugger. It sold for $93. I shipped it out to Florida, and tracking got all the way to his house, but the tracking says delivered empty box to front door stuff because they
What?
lost the baseball package, the baseball bat, I guess. And this is one of those rare cases where I actually just had to straight up eat it. So I have
Oh,
one of my YouTube subscribers. Shout out to John. He works remotely for me. He takes care of all my claims and things like that.
wow.
And he's like, yeah, no, I talked on the phone with UPS on this one. They're not gonna help you out. So you're just gonna have to refund $93 after fees. That end up being $80. But yeah, it's one of those rare cases where it's like, oh crap. And these are things you have to be aware of when you're
Yeah.
selling on eBay, and you have to plan ahead of because emotionally, if I didn't understand that I'm going to lose money through returns, then this would suck, and I would probably lose a day or two, depending on how emotional I am of a person, a whole week of productivity. But yeah, I'm glad that I have my systems in place. I lost $80 on this, plus I bought the bat for $5, so I'm out like $85. But it happens. I
Well,
guess I'm not
I've got
truly out $85. I'm out. $80 in revenue plus $5 in cost of good,
And the packaging and a little
and
bit of
$10
there.
in
Yeah.
shipping. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got I don't know if I know Keith saw my video 2 videos ago. I talk about I have the largest return I've ever had, a $750 return.
oh
And it's because they changed their mind. They changed their mind almost 30 days after they bought it, and I'm terrified. They still haven't shipped it so far. So they have until the 10th of March. Um, but I'm terrified of what's going to come back, if it's some kind of scam or what. So we'll see, because they waited almost 30 days just before
yep.
the return date. So we'll see what happens. But like, you're right. Like, emotionally, for a few minutes, I was like, the world's ending, because I'm like, $750 return.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
lot of
nuts.
Yeah.
money,
Especially because you probably
and
already transferred it to your bank. I mean, it's
exactly.
30
I
days.
wasn't prepared, I wasn't prepared for that. So, um, mentally, for a few minutes, the world was ending. But then I was like, I'll make more sales. It's fine, And I had $0 into this. It was actually 3 items. They bought 3 things. They were all identical items, but they were free, so I had no money tied up into it. But the fact that giving that money back to them, especially, um, because they changed their mind almost 30 days later, that part annoys me. So,
Yeah.
but they haven't shipped it yet. It's been about a week and a half, so hopefully they don't.
Yeah. My last return, they never shipped it back. So sometimes you get lucky that way, right? You just
Yep.
wait it out. And
Yep.
Jake, I had a similar thing happen with I sold this chalkware Rin Tin Tin statue, big statue,
Yeah.
and I packed this thing like impeccably. I mean, I felt like I could have dropped it off my roof; it would have been all right. But it did arrive broken somehow by UPS, and I fully refunded the buyer and then filed an insurance claim with UPS. That's still in the process. I don't expect much to happen there. Was that an option for you at all with the bat, or they wouldn't even start that
Yes.
claim?
So I'll have to hopefully. I mean, I know John's listening, so hopefully he can put in the comments. But when it comes to USPS, the postal service, during the end of fourth quarter and quarter one, they don't care. They just approve everything. They're so busy,
Okay.
they're not going to go check anything. So like, I mean, everyone knows how the U.S. Postal Service operates during quarter four and quarter one when everything's
Yeah.
ultra busy. So I was getting like, I mean, I'm selling like 30 items a day on average. So I usually average like one return request every single day. And then I'm getting like cases opened, like 3 or 4 times per week. And John just takes care of all of those. But yeah, I get a check in the mail almost daily from USPS from all of
Oh,
these
wow.
claims because
Wow.
John's just taking care of them for me, and I'm getting a $18 check here, $38 check here, things like that. But UPS sucks. Like
Yeah.
UPS just will not work with you whatsoever. So he didn't tell me the full situation of what happened, but he's like, yeah, man, I called UPS and they just said you're on your own.
Oh,
So
that
I
stinks.
had to fight. I've only had an issue with one, and I ship a lot through UPS because that's where I ship my golf clubs.
yeah,
But one time I shipped a huge receiver, and it was cheaper to ship UPS, so I did, and it arrived like it looked like a truck had run over it. It was terrible. The guy
man,
sent me photos. He hadn't opened it yet. He sent photos, and I had to fight hard to get UPS to take care of that, and it was only like $100. It was,
Yeah.
wasn't a very expensive receiver, but yeah, it took weeks of me fighting back and forth with them because they were trying to tell me eBay was responsible for it, and I'm like, no, 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 no. eBay didn't ship my item,
yeah,
or deliver it. You did, but yeah, UPS can be terrible.
Yeah.
USPS, I've never had an issue with, but I think I've only had maybe 2 claims with USPS. So hopefully I don't have many. None of us want to deal with that on a regular basis.
No.
But
well, speaking of getting run over by a truck, I live right next to an Air Force base. I'm sure you guys just heard that
Yeah.
fighter jet go
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
um,
funny. I don't. The nearest military base is about a 40-minute drive for me. It's Fort Jackson in South Carolina, and we had jets flying over my house a little
yeah.
while ago.
No, yeah, it's a huge Air Force base where they do a ton of ROTC training and like they do a ton of base operations here. So I hear that go over my house about 15 times a day usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But whatever. But yeah, no, it's yeah, UPS. So luckily I don't know what's been going on, but I haven't been getting charged as much on the USPS surcharges. So I've been shipping out my golf clubs through USPS lately, actually. And it's only been like it's usually like $14. If it's a driver heading to the northeast, it's usually like 18. So I use UPS there. But like if I hop into my pirate ship, it keeps track of my overages that I get charged. So last year, I had $700 in additional charges. $4.87 was from USPS. The other $700 was all from UPS. And the
Wow.
way we package everything is if I put something in an 18 by 16 by 14 box, I increase 2 inches on all of the dimensions, and it ends up being like 6 or 7, sometimes even like $11 more to ship. But if you're off by a quarter inch, then they'll just charge you the standard rate. And we have such huge discounts from Pirate Ship and eBay that like if you ship something for $18, normally it's like 48, and so they'll
Yeah.
upcharge you
Yeah.
$30. So I try to avoid UPS because of those upcharges and because they just will not help out when because like
I've
UPS clearly lost this baseball bat
Yeah.
and they're just like, oh, it's sorry, nothing we can do. It's like, okay.
That's crazy though, because I only use UPS for golf clubs,
Yeah.
and the most for I use for a anything outside of a driver
Yeah.
is a essentially it's a 4x4x48, and I cut it down.
Yep.
And it comes out to be so most irons is going to be 40 inches or lower. So just say 40x5x5. And from here to Oregon, 14.99 will cover it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I charge a flat rate, 14.99 per golf, for a golf club, and usually it only costs me like $7 or $8 to ship it.
Yeah.
So I only comes close to that 14.99 if it's going to the West Coast. So it's pretty cheap, and I've never had it. I've had one overage charge, and it was only for like $1 or $2. So I don't know. That's crazy that you get charged so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No,
I
I
ship a lot of
appreciate that.
baseball bats, but I ship them all USPS, and a lot of them are a little more valuable bats, so people
Mhm.
don't mind spending the overcharge or the surcharge for that longer package with
Yeah.
priority mail or occasionally ground advantage. But I should definitely move them to UPS because I know it's going to be similar to your guys' golf club costs.
Yeah.
But
Man, I ship a lot of bats and golf clubs, and we just go with whatever the cheapest rate is. And a lot of
yeah,
times, USPS beats UPS. Only recently, like the last 2 or 3 months. But yeah,
It's
UPS,
got to
not
be something to do with location, because
yeah.
you being, I mean, you're closer to the middle of the state than I am, so or the country,
Mhm.
so that's got to have something to do with it. USPS makes more sense because me being on the East Coast, a lot of the times I'm shipping to Florida and Georgia with golf clubs, and because those are pretty big coastal golf states, and it'll literally US or UPS will cost me like $6 or $7 for one golf club. Basically 2 pounds, um, 40x5x5. It only cost me $6 or $7, but um, yeah, it's got to be the location to why it's working out cheaper for you to be USPS, I would think.
and you guys aren't doing calculated shipping on them, right? You're just doing a base price. It sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah, before
Okay.
the surcharges, I would do 9.95, and like Shane said, it would usually only cost me like $8 to ship a golf
Okay.
club. Now I do 14.95, and it usually costs me $13 to ship it.
Okay.
That's usually how it
yeah,
goes for
and
me.
I just basically when I was doing calculated, people were complaining about the shipping costs,
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah,
I got on pirate ship, and I'm in Lexington, South Carolina. I went somewhere in Oregon on pirate ship and said, okay, what's it going to cost for this package? And I checked all the rates, and 14.99 would cover pretty much everything, um, any golf club that I ship. So drivers, I do calculated because $14.99 won't cover the. It's not the weight because the driver's still under 2 pounds, but the dimensions of the box are closer to 48 inches by 7 by 7 because it's a 6 by 6 by 48, and the dimensions make it a little more expensive. Sometimes it's like 18, $19 to ship a driver, but $14.99 covers anything under a driver for me.
Do you guys have pirate ship?
Yes. Yep, that's what I use too.
So pirate ship is cool because it lets you see where all your packages are getting shipped to. So I'm going to open up my reports here. So this is my shipping. So 15% of all of my packages go to California, which is, here's Utah. I live right above where it says UT, and it goes to Los Angeles and San Diego a lot. And then it feels like I get so many orders to New York and New Jersey. Because every time, I swear, every time I look at something, it's like, oh, New Jersey, New York. It's like, dude, why can't I just go to freaking Arizona?
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously, I mean, you see here, a lot of packages are going to California because of population, Texas because of population, New York and Florida. And then Illinois, because I actually get a really good amount of international sales. And that's where I ship everything for my international sales.
I had two international sales this week.
Yeah, international sales are sweet on eBay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love them.
Yeah, we all look forward to them, I'm sure, right?
I wish all of them were.
Well, it's really nice because usually it's my big expensive items that go international. Like I sold a $400 Onkyo receiver, and it's like, oh sweet, it's going to Germany, man. It sucks for the customer because something that big is not going to make it there safely. But
right.
I mean, I'm not going to get the refund, so
yeah. I just looked at my chart. My top is Pennsylvania 10%, then Texas, New York. Probably for me because I sell a lot of Pennsylvania sports related vintage items, so it would make sense. I have more going to PA.
Dude, that's cool. I just sold a CD last night to Utah, to Grantsville, which is like 80 miles away from me. But I almost never sell anything locally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it always goes to a different state. I wonder if they show all or just your top, because I'd like to see how many actually go to Utah. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I really like data. I really like information.
Yeah.
I like having all this stuff in front of me.
I never even clicked on that setting in pirate ship before. I have to check that out again. The reports. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh, at 1.58% of my packages go to Utah.
Oh wow.
So,
it's crazy. I'm looking at mine, and I live in South Carolina, and 12.2 is my biggest number, and South Carolina is number one for me, oddly enough.
Yeah. Now you guys have a lot of local sales. That's cool.
Yeah. California is number 2.
Yeah. California is pretty much just like California, Florida, and New York are probably always going to be in people's top 5 no matter where you live, just purely based on population.
Yeah.
But so that's where, like, if you live in, Nebraska or Kansas, Colorado, even Utah, like you can do flat rate shipping knowing, hey, like I'm going to send a lot of stuff to New York and a lot of stuff to California. So you can use that to base off of what you're going to set for your shipping prices. But like if you like a lot of people, like Florida is probably the best state for reselling. Like don't say that on TikTok because people are like, oh, I live in Florida, I can't find anything. Like you just legitimately suck at your job. I'm really sorry. But like Florida is the hub for sourcing for sure. But you're sending a lot of packages to New York and to California and Washington. I have 3% of my packages going there. Like if you're shipping something from Miami to Kent, Washington, that's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah, for sure.
But who cares? You live in Florida and you can go sourcing for 9 hours a day every single day of the year. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I love my area of the country for sourcing, but that's only like 6 months a year. Other times I just working on the death pile for 6 months a year.
Yep.
At that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So
when your
sourcing,
death pile is an entire warehouse, Keith.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big one. Yeah.
No, yeah. I want to get into that in a little bit later in regards to actually buying off of live sellers. I guess we'll just hop into it now and I'll talk about sourcing in a minute. But yeah, like so on Dibdit, on First Class Treasures, on all of these platforms, you think, oh, everyone's going to be selling off their death pile or their items that just have no value and things like that. But actually, like, it's in an amazing place to source. I
Yeah.
just bought I got packages from both of you guys this week.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, there's just a ton of really good stuff. So like I was going in thinking, okay, everyone's going to be selling their 0.5% sell through rate CDs that they can't move. But on Commons, on Kevin's platform for reselling lots, I do really well there because I realized, okay, it's not just people like me who only focus on fast sell through rate items and get a little bit of junk here and there that they just want to move. It's guys like Keith that have 2 warehouses filled to the brim with a ton of really good stuff that you just don't have the hours of the manpower to actually list it.
Yeah.
But you can sit on a live stream for 85 minutes and sell 115 items where you just can't do that on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. So honestly, like we want as many buyers moving over to the district platform as possible, obviously. But honestly, like it's really great for resellers. It's like,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, so I sold a cross pen the other day. You guys know that brand? Really nice
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Sure.
14 karat gold filled. It's worth about 40, $45 on eBay. And honestly, it probably would have sold the same month that I listed it. But I just threw it up on First Class Treasures. I think it went for $16. I got it for 25 cents at a yard sale. So it's like you can just keep doing that over and over and over again. And it's good for me. And it's good for the seller that lives in Nebraska that doesn't have a lot of sourcing opportunities. That they can buy something for 16 and they've already bought other things in the show. So literally the shipping is like $1.25 on it. So you got it for like $18. You can sell it for 45, almost double your money. Like it's really great situation for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like that goblet that I sold on your First Class Treasures the other night. I have 30 cents into it, right? Because it came from that reseller buyout I did. And I got about 30 cents. It's probably actually less than that, but I had no idea it was even then. I had two Rubbermaid totes full of stuff that I hadn't gone through yet. So it was in my way. I was like, let me just go ahead and go through this. And I found that in there. And I found a sold comp for $490.85 for that exact one. And I was like, I can list this on eBay and wait a year or two for the right person to come by and
Honestly,
want to
it might have
spend
even been like
490.
4 or 5 years, you know.
Right.
That's a
Or I could run it on First Class Treasures. I got 30 cents in this thing. Let's just see what happens. It's worth at least 200 in melted weight if somebody just wanted to buy it
Yep.
and melt it down. It was like 204 or something for melted weight. Or it had a sold comp for 490. So somebody that does want to sit on it can make some money. So I got 30 cents in it and went for 161 and I was thrilled.
yeah.
And somebody got a killer deal, whether they melt it
Yeah.
down or resell it. So like I don't know. I'm with you, Jake. I think it's a great place to source. I buy a lot from there. I buy a lot from Keith. Um, I don't remember how much I paid for that little Charles Lindbergh uh, paper, that ephemera from you, but it was like $2 or $3, I think, and
Yeah.
I can probably get 100 for it. You know,
Yeah.
in the right place. It's a really cool piece, a vintage piece, and I buy a ton of stuff, man,
Yeah.
off of the district in general.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now it's a business saver because sourcing is rough right now. I mean, the thrift stores are still good, but it's no one's donating because there's ice on the ground. They don't want to slip and fall and
Yeah.
Yeah.
break their neck. No one wants to go into their cold garage and do some spring cleaning because it's 31 degrees
Yeah.
as a high. You know, it sucks. so
Yeah.
so there's not a lot of donations going in right now. There's 0 yard sales, but I'm able to get some really good quality stuff off of District that I'm able to resell on eBay. And I also put a few of that stuff back up on District because every once in a while you'll go into a live show where it's a little stale and people are selling things worth 20, 25, $35 and you're getting them for $2 because, oh wow, this is cool. We just got a static sale on First Class Treasures for some sunglasses.
Nice.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
right. But yeah, no, like people like every once in a while you'll find people selling things that are worth $20 to $30 that actually have a really decent sell through rate static. And you can pick it up for $2 or $4 because it's a little stale in the room. Maybe, you know, maybe they don't have the best shipping policies, and so people don't want to spend $9.95 on their first item, even though there's progressive shipping. They just don't want to make that first purchase because
Yeah.
they don't want to buy something for $14 that they pay $4 plus $10 in shipping, or
Yeah, the psychological aspect of it for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you can get some really good deals that you can sell statically, and sometimes I'll pick something up. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna grab this for $2. I know I'll be able to sell it for 6 or 7 on first class treasures in one of my live shows. So
Yeah.
I actually
me-
did that with.
Did you?
I bought something from Retro Princess. It was a stack of cards,
yeah,
unopened packs, and I sold them to Keith in my next
yeah.
show.
That's right.
And these are the ones Keith told me to send to our buddy Sean. I just
Yeah.
keep forgetting to send them to Sean, so I got them sitting here on my desk. So I hopefully remember this week. But yeah, I bought them from her. Unfortunately, she wasn't having the best show,
yep.
and nobody was interested in Pokemon and stuff. So I got them for like $2, and then I think I sold them, and Keith got them for like $9. So I made a few bucks there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do that all the time.
And it's great for me, the selling part. I don't mind giving great deals out over there because one,
Yeah.
I have enough stuff that I need to move and make space. But the time it saves in the cleaning it, photographing it, skewing it, listing it, researching it. I mean, to sell that in like 20 seconds and it's gone. And
Exactly.
And then if the person gets a great deal, they'll be back, help build the marketplace over there. I think, and you get the social aspect too, right? That's fine. Where I'm joking around with the chat. That's a fun time.
Well, and there's a lot of people probably watching this right now sneezing at like, oh, you bought it for $2 and sold it for $9. Like, oh, after fees and stuff, you're gonna make $4. What a guy, But it's like, honestly, you literally like the whole process of buying it, having it shipped to you, and then holding it up in front of a camera and selling it in a 35-second auction. You literally, and then just putting it in a little poly mailer and shipping it off. You made $4.50 in less than 2.5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
right.
And like you can just sit on a show with ephemera and sell 60 pieces of ephemera for $5 each, and you do it in 42 minutes, and yeah, you were making $50, $75 an hour. It's pretty nice.
Yep,
absolutely.
So,
yeah,
that's why I love the hybrid model, because I can just list 25 items a day onto my static platforms, get 15, 17, 18 sales per day that are making me $25 profit each item, and then go into a live show, sell 38 items for $315, and boom, yeah, made $1,000 today. Let's do it.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty nice. Oh yeah, that the live selling is, a lot of people are pushing against it. A lot of people don't like hearing about it, which is fine. You got to consume the content you want to consume, but
yeah,
it's a really great opportunity for buyers and sellers. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been fun.
But yeah, speaking of tough sourcing, so right after this podcast is over, I'm actually going to head down to Vegas, which used to be a 90-minute drive for me, but now is going to be a 6.5-hour drive.
Oof.
Plus my parents still live 90 minutes outside of Vegas, so we'll stop and get dinner with them. So, but yeah, good old Archie Biscuit Butt. We're gonna go do some sourcing tomorrow and Saturday. Hopefully, bring the GoPro, get a video.
Is Camparelli down there yet? I know he's supposed to be going down too.
No, he's going down the next week, so I'm gonna miss him by a couple of days, which sucks. Because I've talked with Mike on the phone a couple of times, but I'm excited to meet him in person.
Yeah, he's seriously one of the most genuine, kind people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Such a sweetheart, man.
Yeah, he's a staple in the reselling community for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, the high for where I live tomorrow is 37 degrees, and in Vegas it's going to be 74. So
nice.
How about you, Keith? What's the high for you?
It's
guys?
actually a little warmer today. It was like 55 today, so not too bad. That's like
we've had the AC on in my house for a couple of days now.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
It's like 75. But so my house, I'm in the middle of the woods. Like I live out in the country, but there's no trees really to put shade on the house. So in the sun, it gets pretty warm pretty quick in here. But yeah, so we got the AC on. I got a tea time tomorrow morning. I got a tea time Saturday morning. Man, I played 2 days ago, maybe. I don't know, 3 times in 1 week's a little much for me, but whatever. I'm having fun, making money, and I'm gonna go enjoy the weather while I can, because
Did you
it may still get cold again.
Yeah.
have you built your golf set through reselling?
I did
Or
actually,
yeah.
and it pays for every round of golf I play.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
So
no, I have like a resell used condition. I have like a $2,500 golf set. And I've
Ooh.
gotten it all from yard sales for like $80 total. It's awesome.
yeah. I play. So I ran into Flippy McFlipperson at the golf course the other day, and him and I play, quite often. Um, every time I see him, he's got a bag full of new clubs because he's
Yeah.
constantly switching them out, like constantly. Um, I mine aren't. I bought mine used, but I bought them on eBay with money that I sold. I got selling clubs,
Uh-huh.
so I don't have a. I have a full set of TaylorMade stealth irons,
Yeah.
and
I
then
think
I got random assortment, but like all my wedges, everything I paid for with reselling money that I made selling golf clubs, except for my putter, which I actually won on Whatnot from Goated Golf. Um, $500 putter I won in their giveaway.
Oh wow.
They that's what they do is they make putters and head covers and things. Um, but yeah, super cool company. But I won one of their giveaways, so I got a really nice putter that I get a lot of compliments on the course with. But yeah, everything else I bought with the money I made selling golf clubs. So
yeah,
really
that's
cool.
dope. No, yeah, I was at the Goodwill bins the other day, and there were like 5 bins that were just filled with golf head covers. And
Oh
so I
wow.
got a ton of Odyssey like 2 ball white covers, and a ton of Nike launchers and everything. So they're all like 3 ounces each on average. So I got,
Yep.
I think, like 75 of them maybe. So I spent like, maybe $9, and they're all
Yeah.
worth on average. There were a few $30 and $40 ones in there, which is awesome. There was also a lot of $8 and $9 plus shipping ones. But I'd say the average was, 14, $15 plus shipping. And I got them all for what, 17 cents each probably. So, and then my wife is a beast. I took all, I think there were like 74 or 76 of them. And she had all of them listed in under 2 hours and cross listed to first class treasures and Mercari and Poshmark.
Wow, that's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I watched
So
one of previous videos about that where she was. I'm starting to work a similar system with my wife and vintage
Yeah.
pennants, but it's very cool that she. It's almost like assembly line you have working over there where you
Yeah. That's
source,
awesome.
she's shipping it, or work. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And like, I know a lot of people out there, they're doing this on their own, and they have like some support from their spouse, but the spouse doesn't like help at all. And they would love it if the spouse helped.
Yeah.
My wife, we've been doing this full time for over 3 years now, just over 3 years. And she just hopped on like 5 months ago. And she was never against the reselling at all. She just said, "Don't fill my house with junk." And that's another reason why we're so good at this job, is because we don't hold things at all. We
Yeah.
only focus on fast sell through items, and we get them listed the day we buy them. Like right now, we have 15 golf clubs to clean and list, and that's the only death pile we have because she hates golf clubs.
Man,
But
that's awesome. Yeah.
but
yeah,
yeah, no, it's
that's killer.
it took her a while to come around to start helping out. One, because she was full time soccer, CNA, and um, dedicated student. But yeah, she's really enjoying it. And there are some spouses that will just never come around, that just don't really want anything to do with it. But like it's really nice to have that support. And yeah, she's really good at what she does, so it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
my wife, she could care less. She supports me 100%, but she doesn't really want anything to do with it. Now she does. She has like Michael Kors purses and things that she uses, and when she's done with them, she'll say, "Hey, you wanna sell this?" And she
Yeah,
gives me stuff. Um, but she likes to go. She doesn't like to go thrifting, but she loves yard sales and the flea market. So she always
yeah.
goes with me. But she's looking for stuff for the house and stuff, for
Mm-hmm.
herself. But she supports me 100%. She's the one, when I got laid off back in November, she's the first person that said, "Why don't you try to go full-time reseller?" And
So
when she said that, that made me believe that I could do it. You know what I mean? So she supports me 100%, but she don't want any part of it.
So did she end up getting her job back at Verizon? I know you said that there was a chance that they were going to bring back like maybe 20% that was laid off. Or
Yeah.
no?
So so the company I work for, it's not Verizon. We were
Like
building the
subcontractors
Verizon.
for
Yeah.
Verizon?
So I worked for Mastech, Mastec, multi-billion-dollar Fortune 500 company. I was there for 9 years. I had got my wife hired on to be my office manager, and she was able to transfer. So I transferred to the office here in Lexington from our Charlotte office. I was in Charlotte for 6.5 years, and then I transferred down to Lexington, closer to my house. Um, she hired on straight out of the Lexington office, and then we both got laid off, and they gave us opportunities to transfer to the Charlotte office. So I would have gone back to Charlotte. They gave her a remote position, so she actually works from home, which is amazing. I would have
That's
had to
awesome.
start making that 4 hour round trip on a daily basis again. And
Game over.
November 15th,
Yeah.
I got laid off. It's now January 27th, February 27th, sorry. And I'm still working for myself. So things have been good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good
Congrats, man. That's
stuff.
awesome.
I appreciate it. Now, if I could just get that J Rod YouTube money, we'd be straight.
Dude, I gotta get back to the YouTube money. So I'll be completely transparent with you guys. Last year, peak YouTube content, I was making about 7 grand a month. Right now, let's see. This is embarrassing. I have made 3 new videos in the last 4 months, and I've made 0 evergreen content. So I'm down to $970 for this month on YouTube. That's wild. Gone down what is that? 70, like 65, no, 85% in revenue. Jeez.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
that's
I
a lot.
a lot of you guys know I've been struggling with some like hormone imbalances. My testosterone is ultra low and my vitamin D is ultra low. That's another reason why we're making this Vegas trip, is to just literally get me in the sun.
Get in the sun.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm already feeling like a ton better just making some lifestyle changes and doing some stuff. But yeah, if you guys think that I'm making a lot of money and I'm motivated right now, just give me a few months and things are gonna be dope. Because like, I was gonna make, so my best performing video is the ultimate guide to reselling for beginners on eBay in 2024. I think that video alone made me like $18,000, and it still is making me, $7 or $8 a day, which is great. But I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to rinse and repeat, do a 2025 video. I was planning on making that in November of last year. And every time I sit down to record it, I just, it's weird, man. I just don't enjoy making content, and it's been tough, but I'm starting to be myself again. And I'm really hoping that this trip, when I hang out with guys like you, with you guys, and I do the live shows, and I've been invited onto several podcasts recently, and it's really nice to just talk with other guys and stuff. It really helps me out. But yeah, I'm excited to really get back into the swing of feeling like myself again. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, everybody's missed you over on YouTube for sure. So,
Yeah,
but I think like me and Anthony, for instance, Dragon Masters finds were probably one of your first 100 subscribers. We've been there
yeah,
since day one, so we enjoy watching the content, and but we understand you got things going on that are hindering your abilities right now. So we all hope you get back on your feet and get to pumping them out. And we all learn so much from watching your videos. Like the one you just mentioned, your $18,000 video. That's a information packed video that everybody needs to watch. It doesn't even matter if it's 2025 now.
yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it's a great video with a ton of knowledge.
But yeah, dude, I'm
Yep.
excited to get back into the content world. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
My channel's it's growing. I just hit 3,400 subs. I think I'm at like 3,413 now with the new video out that came out yesterday. But um I've been averaging like 60 subs a month. So it's now that I'm full-time reseller slash YouTuber, I actually have time to be consistent on YouTube, whereas before
Mm-hmm.
there was like 6 straight months where I went with only doing my live show. You know, I didn't put out any other content, and now I'm doing 2 videos a week, and it's really not taking off, but it's the consistency is
Turning.
paying off.
Yeah,
So
it's turning for sure.
I'm
I
happy
love to
about
get
it.
the 2 videos a week. It's a grind for me being full time and a regular job and a reselling job, but today and Friday is when I start to really have to buckle down and get my. I put a video out every Saturday, but it's a struggle at times to get that video edited and get it out on time. But I haven't missed a Saturday yet, so hopefully
Yeah.
keep the
So
grind up.
so what are flea markets like in your area? You're like you're in Philadelphia, right? Or are you
Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes south of Philadelphia,
sorry.
right over the bridge from Jersey,
Yeah.
and it's I think my area is probably. I mean, Florida has year-round flea markets, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of them. But I think as far as finding like cool vintage items and clean out guys and antiques at flea markets, I think my area is the best in the country. At least like 6-7 months a year.
Yeah.
I still go year round, even though I haven't been out there in like 6 weeks because they're
So
so weather
even if
dependent.
it's like 28 degrees, there's still guys out in booths selling stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. As long as it's not raining or snowing or something, they're going to be out there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, in Utah, so when Kerry lived here, he said there was a really good one in Roy that has since been disbanded, unfortunately. But as far as flea markets go, there's not like a ton of them in Utah. There's like an indoor one in Ogden, and then there's a few like bodega malls where it's all just Chinese crap and stuff,
Yeah.
with occasional like storage unit sellers. But like I'm surprised there's not as many here. Hopefully this summer, like I'll learn that I know there's one in West Jordan that's pretty good. I've been there a couple of times. But yeah, I'm hoping that we can up the flea market game here in Utah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I know you don't get as good of a deal at flea market because the people usually know what they have, and they're not like people putting stuff out in the yard. They don't want to put it back in the garage, right? They once it's out in the driveway, they want it gone. But you get like more bang for the buck as far as quantity of dealers, and you know,
And you can make
I
those
love it.
partnerships and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
definitely make some
it's a
good
little
connections.
different. It's a little different where I'm at. You guys know I'm in the same town with Harry Tornado, and he does flea market videos. We have 2 flea markets within 2 miles of each other. They're not they're not huge, but they're decent size. But there's a lot of Goodwill bins shoppers that set up at the flea market, like
Yeah,
Zoe from Josh's videos. He goes to the bins every day. He sells at the flea market on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Um,
it's a good
but
system.
most of them, yeah, and most of them are resellers. But there are certain rows of the flea market because they're all set up in rows
Yeah,
that it's generally just people who are don't have the means or don't want people coming to their house, so they'll go set up at the flea market to do
yeah.
their yard sales. So we can actually find some pretty good stuff there for pretty cheap. But there are a lot of people that you see there every single the flea markets are open. One of them's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The other one's just Friday or Saturday and Sunday. Um, but it'll be the same people there in the same. They rent the actual booth. Some of them are covered with a door, so they'll rent these actual booths, and they're there every single day the flea market's open. But we don't really like Keith. I watch Keith's videos, and I see so much cool stuff that you wouldn't see down here in my area. We don't. I don't know if it's just because we're in the South, but the sports memorabilia and things like that you don't see at the flea market. I remember when I was a kid, you could find sports cards. There were a lot of sports card shops around town, but there were individuals who didn't have like a brick and mortar, but they would set up at the flea market and they had
Yeah.
boxes and cases and singles and stuff. But you don't even see that anymore. We have one sports card shop in like a 30-mile radius. I don't know. It's just weird. The stuff you find, Keith, I'd never be able to find here. And I would love to. That's why I keep
Yeah.
telling you, one of these days I want to get to Philly and go with you,
Yeah,
man.
come on up, man. Yeah. Yeah, I think
It
because my
looks like
proximity to
fun.
Philadelphia and New York City, there's a lot of flea markets I go to have a
Yeah.
Yeah.
a big group of New York people that come down and sell. So
Yeah, because New York's what, an hour and a half, right?
yeah, yep.
Yeah. I used to when I was in New York for 2 years, and I used to go to Philly and catch the Phillies games all the time. So it was a
Dude,
lot of fun.
I love the sports history right there where you live.
Yeah.
It's like dude, 76ers fans and Boston fans and Knicks fans, and then
Yeah.
just the Boston Bruins, like dude, just all of the like dude, sports is awesome right there.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so many teams within just a few hours of
yeah,
Yeah.
of one. Let's just say New York City. I mean, even DC's only like 5 hours. So we used to make weekend trips when we were up in New York for a couple of years. We'd make weekend trips and go see games all over the freaking from DC up. It
yeah,
was
Yeah.
fun.
And it's really where sports were born in general. I mean, at least
oh
American
yeah.
sports in the Northeast, with the Civil War, with giving rise to baseball, and so that you get a lot of history here. With that, you find pieces of history for sure.
That's
Yeah.
also why I love your live shows so much because you're bringing vintage sports and
Yeah,
vintage ephemera, and you're like, oh wow, we get to see what it was like in New Jersey in 1840. This is dope.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
sweet.
yeah. I love
Yeah,
to
no,
talk
that's
about
really
that stuff
awesome.
too. Yeah, and I do. And the cool thing now that I'm seeing on some live streams, there are some collectors coming into those streams too. It's not,
Yeah,
and especially for my channel, they come over. So that's fun to
exactly.
see. That yeah,
Now, and that's
Yeah.
another reason why I'm
He's got
super
some good
pumped.
ones
Yeah, it's another
supporting him
reason why I'm
over there.
super pumped to get into more content because that's where the collectors and the buyers are going to be coming from on these platforms. And so I think I don't know if you guys noticed, but I usually do my thrifting videos on my JRide Picks channel, but I actually posted it on my JRide Flips channel because my thrifting trips, it's going to be more like, hey, pick up this toaster for $8 because it sells for 65. And
Hmm.
like people that are watching yard sale videos, they're not watching yard sale and or like people that watch Jocelyn, like she puts reselling in all of her titles and she does get a lot of resellers that watch her, but she also like I'd say the majority of her viewership are just people that love glass and antiques and they don't care like, oh, it's cool that you found that sells for 80, but like I just really like the dark blue hue in the glass, and that's
yeah,
what they're watching
Yeah.
for.
yeah,
So I'm gonna focus my picking channel more on, you know, American pickers feel, or like instead of just saying, oh, this is everything that I found in these yard sales. I'm hoping that like at one yard sale I find a ton of Pokemon, and then 3 weeks later I find more Pokemon, and then I could just make a holy cow! I found so much Pokemon at yard sales this summer, and do like 4 videos in one of just straight Pokemon the whole time. And then
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I know like a
yeah,
lot of you guys are Pokemon collectors. Head over to First Class Treasures. We have a ton of static listings as well as live shows all the time where you can pick up this Pikachu plush that I got. A lot of times you'll be able to just get it for $3 or $4. So we'll see you there. So I'm excited for that. Just needed to get warm, man. There's no yard
yeah,
sales at all.
yeah,
There's none. There is zero. It's tough.
I've been to a few. I went to an estate sale and a moving sale 2 weekends ago, but now that it's like in the 70s or it has been in the 70s for the past week or so, I need to look. I bet you there's going to be quite a few yard sales uh, Saturday. I'm going. Oh, I got a tea
Dude,
time though.
Vegas is gonna be awesome tomorrow and
yeah.
Saturday. I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
Do
Now,
they have yard sales on Fridays out there, or is it only Saturday?
oh yeah, Fridays and
Friday.
Saturdays.
Cool.
They even have a few Thursday sales. I mean, nothing like Florida, but there are people that make a full time living gambling. Like they
Yeah,
just go to the casinos every day and they make like just enough money to like keep it going, and so they don't have a job, and then they'll just like, oh, I'll just go pick up a storage unit, sell at a flea market or a yard sale. And so yeah, a lot of good sourcing opportunities in Vegas. I was driving there almost every week when I lived in St. George because yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in Vegas.
Thursday and Friday yard sales in South Carolina are unheard of.
Yeah,
Saturdays and Sundays only. Estate sales, they'll start on a Friday, but
yeah.
yard sales, nobody ever.
Well, then in Utah it's the opposite because we honor the Sabbath, and the majority of the people won't transact on Sundays. So
Yeah.
like a lot of times, most Costco's and stuff like that are closed on Sundays here in
hmm.
Utah, and so like yard sales and stuff. There's no yard sale. I mean, there's like there's people that will do yard sales on Sundays, but there's not people looking for them on Sundays.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
But yeah, Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday are the 2 big days, and then a lot of estate sales will start on Thursdays because there are a ton of flippers and resellers in Utah, and so estate sales know, hey, if we open up on Thursday, we're going to have way less traffic, but we're going to have the guys coming in that are reselling. So we'll sell really good stuff. So like estate sales are still definitely worth going to on Fridays and Saturdays here in Utah, but I only do estate sales on Thursdays. And then if it's a slow Saturday, then I'll go. But during yard sale season, estate sales on Thursday, get all of the good stuff. And then Friday and Saturday, I'm just doing yard sales because all the resellers have already torched through the estate sales on Thursday.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then nothing on Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday's my big flea market day, and I think for me, yard sales are only on Saturday. I've never been to a yard sale on a weekday or even a Sunday. It's always just Saturday for me,
Yeah.
at least in my area.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, I'm really pumped. Broad Acres is the biggest flea market in Las Vegas. I'm excited for that. Kind of like you were saying, Shane. There's like it's kind of sectioned off a little bit.
Yeah.
At Broad Acres, there's like reseller row, and then there's like China row where everything is from Alibaba and stuff. It's fun. So there's like more than half of it is like storage units and thrifters and things like that, which is awesome. So it gets some good resale and stuff. And then like another third of it is just straight food. And then the other, I did the math wrong because half and a third doesn't equal a whole. But yeah, like probably 25, and 50. The other 25 is just fake Oakleys and Ray-Bans and fake Jordan jerseys and all that good stuff. Yeah. And they're always like, "Oh yeah, no, it's real authentic, hermano. $25, good deal."
Yeah,
I love it.
Thankfully, almost none of my local flea markets have any of that kind of stuff at them. It's all like true, like clean out guys. Yeah, there's like one section in my big flea market to go to in New Jersey that's like a pavilion of new stuff, but there's like no new stuff anywhere else, which is I think a rarity.
So I'm really excited. I'm an idiot, and so my wife's birthday is like 2 days before Valentine's. So every year we do a huge birthday Valentine's trip. This year we were going to go to a resort in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta. And on my Mormon mission, I lived in Puerto Vallarta for 4 months. And so I know the area extremely well. And they have what's called the Tianguis. It's a flea market every Saturday. So I'm pumped now with reselling eyes to go like on Saturday. I'm like, hey, honey, yeah, for like 3 hours, we're going to go to a flea market for your birthday vacation. But unfortunately, I was an idiot and I got my passport 10 and a half years ago. So it was expired. So we planned the trip and everything. And the day before, I looked at my passport and it's like February 25th, 2024. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I can't believe it. And so the resort was like $500 a night, and they didn't refund the first night, and then Delta refunded our flights, but Air Mexico didn't. So we're out like $1,700 too, which sucks.
Oh man,
such an idiot. But we have it rescheduled. So I'm getting my passport expedited right now. We should get it in the next 7 or 8 days, and then the day we get it back, we're gonna reschedule it and go like 2 days later. But I'll make sure that we're there on a Saturday. Because I remember they had some really cool stuff. Like they had brass, everything, a lot of really cool things. So I'm hoping that I can get some good stuff to bring back. It's just customs is hard because if they see that I just have a ton of random stuff in my suitcase, I'll probably have to talk to enforcement for a second. Because when I came home from my mission, I was in Mexico for 2 years, and then I remember coming through, and they just had those canines all over us, sniffing every square, like literally just like sniffing us, not like from afar. Like we had to go in and put our hands up like this, and then go through the X-ray machine or whatever, and the dog had to sniff all of our bodies and everything because they weren't messing around, man.
Well, at least you can show them all your links and say, "Look, this is what I do for a living. That's why I'm bringing all this back."
Well, so one time, I just met a girl in college. I lived in St. George, and she had never had real, authentic Mexican tacos. Her name was Jenny. Shout out to Jenny. Not my wife. And I'm like, "You've never?" She's like, "Yeah, I've never had authentic tacos, and I've never been out of the country before." I'm like, "All right, let's drive to Tijuana right now." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." And this is the first night that I met this girl.
Oh wow!
And she's like, "Okay." So we hopped in the car and we drove to Tijuana. We got some tacos, from. I ordered in Spanish because I speak it from my mission days, and we got some tacos, and then we literally drove back that same night. And border patrol's like, your license plate came in 2.5 hours ago, and now you're leaving already. We're gonna have to search your car. Like the chances of you having seeds or drugs is like almost over 100%. Like, no, yeah, I understand. And so they rigorously like, and we used her car too. I felt bad because they were pulling, they were like looking in the washer fluid compartment,
wow.
and they were pulling plastic off and like searching everything. Like, God, this is nuts. But yeah,
That's funny.
because dude, like, so obviously drugs are a huge issue, but even seeds. Like, I won't out anyone, but I had a friend in high school who his dad would smuggle banana plants from Mexico and Guatemala and then like sell them here because like seeds and fruit are a huge issue that they're concerned about. They don't want you bringing anything over the border. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. I had no idea about the seeds. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, dude, they're like, did you bring any seeds with you? I'm like, nope, we just got some tacos. And the border patrol lady, she was being a dick to me. She's like, that's the stupidest excuse I've ever heard. I'm like, I'm saying we're just two dumb college kids that wanted to experience Mexican street tacos. So
Yeah, the lady wanted some tacos, man.
yeah, dude, it's funny. But yeah, dude. But yeah, so I'm excited. I feel really bad because like this is our first year in cold weather in St. George. Like it was. So St. George has already been in the 70s for weeks now, and it does not get under 40 degrees. And now we live in 17-degree weather for the first time, and it's been really hard on us. Obviously, it's been really hard on me. I have zero vitamin D, but so we were both just looking so forward to our yearly trip, and dude, to see my passport expired, dude, that was awful.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
Yeah, you don't even think about that kind of stuff, right? That's just a staple in your safe or whatever it is. You forget that. Yeah, you have to check on that.
Yeah, dude, it sucks. But yeah, now we'll be good for the next 7 years because she got her passport 3 years ago. So we got 7 years that we don't have to worry about it. I wish you could just like do a lifetime passport. I understand why you can't do that, but it's a hassle for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anyone that puts a 10-year reminder in their iPhone. But
No, no. Or you could automatic reminder from the passport office or whatever, right? That would be nice. It'd give you.
yeah, but that's government controlled, so that they're never going to come out with that technology. Man.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Speaking of government, dude, Shane was selling some Trump hats. He was selling out, dude. It was awesome.
Man, I was worried about those hats because I was like, the wrong people are going to be in here and it's going to offend them. But thankfully, I only offended people on my YouTube channel because I was live streaming the show, and there was somebody in my comment section super upset that I was running Trump hats, but they were funny Trump hats. I could not run them. They were saying like I voted for the felon and things like that, and the crowd, I wasn't sure. I was like, they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it, and they loved it. And Keith, you should see some of the hats that sold, man. Some of them were out there, and I was like, whatever. The crowd's having fun. I'm having fun. I'm gonna keep selling, and it was a good time, man.
Well, dude, I had a friend from like high school, college. He knows what I do. We haven't talked in forever, but right after the "Let's Go Brandon" chant at the NASCAR event, he texted me like 3 weeks later, and he's like, "Dude, I just made $80,000." I'm like, how? He's like, "Dude, Let's Go Brandon stickers." I knew that people would want them so bad.
Uh-oh.
Am I back?
Yep. You're good now.
I just got a call on my phone.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, he's like, I knew that, dude, everyone, like all Republicans and even like Democrats with a sense of humor would want a sticker. So he just designed it really quick, put it on American flag, "Let's Go Brandon." And he's like, "Dude, I just made $80,000 in the last 2 weeks selling these stickers." Because he was able, he got them down to a cost of 4 cents per sticker, and he was selling them for $6.99 plus like $2.49 in shipping. And he's like, "Oh yeah, eBay, Amazon, Etsy, everywhere. They were just flying." Like, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
killer.
it's
And
smart.
That's
so
Yeah.
like,
funny though.
and then I had a cousin who's been an entrepreneur his whole life too, and he did the same thing back in the day with Obama. If you spell out Obama, Obama, he just spelt it out, kind of like one of those Trump hats that you sold. It said like Trump, Trump, and then it was like it's spelt
It
out a
said
different way.
truth. What did it say? Truth really upsets most
Most
people
people.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Trump. So he did that with Obama, but it said "one big ass mistake, America," and dude, people loved it. So it's like, dude, political stuff. Like, I don't think you're like if you're a Republican and you're selling pro Democrat stuff, or if you're a Democrat and you're selling pro Republican stuff, like who cares? Like it's,
Yeah.
I like people get in these like huge fits of like, oh, and it's like I personally I think it's a terrible thing that like people don't feel comfortable saying I voted for Trump or I voted for Kamala Harris. It's I wish that like we could just like have discussions about everything, but that's just not the political climate we live in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you know, I think dude, if it makes you money, so like I'm not gonna sell my body or drugs or anything. That's just a completely different tier. But yeah, dude, like selling Bibles or Joe Biden stickers. Like, come on, dude. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand how people get so
And,
upset.
people were
Yeah.
asking, they were like, "Do you have any Biden stuff hats?"
Uh huh.
And I was like, "No, I don't. I don't have any of those." But yeah, the stuff that was selling was blowing my mind. These people were into some stuff that I was worried about selling to begin with. And
Uh huh.
I appreciate you, Jake, because Kevin, I don't think Kevin would have let me sold half the stuff I sold last night on any of his marketplaces. Some of that stuff was pretty vulgar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
But
have to watch a replay because I was on a live stream on my channel and I had my phone over here. I was peeking over and he's like, "Are you even listening to me talk?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm listening. I'm watching Shane sell," but I couldn't see everything in detail what it was. I know I bought one hat from you. I think it was a Hawk
yeah,
Tuah hat, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hawk
Hawk
to us.
Tuah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hawk
Yeah.
Tuah. But yeah,
I
my wife.
sold like
My wife's
four of
actually.
those.
So my wife and I are not materialistic people. Like we just don't have a lot of stuff. And I was
Yeah.
actually surprised when you showed that Harry Potter tumbler. She's like, "Oh, I actually want that." I'm like, "Oh, sweet." So yeah, we
Oh
were
yeah.
excited to get that. And yeah, great deal. Like $11. Like you made some money, and we got a really good deal. And that's what these live auctions are all about. So
Yeah.
really
Exactly.
sweet.
Yeah.
And that Kobe tumbler was really sweet.
Yeah, I wished I would have had a couple more similar to that. Not necessarily just Kobe, but like other
Mm-hmm.
players, because like an MJ one or something that was really cool. I
Well,
love the detail and the graphics on that one.
I mean, so I know you said that guy you got it from is like taking a different business path or whatever, but I would just like, hey man, like, can you print me off 10 hats a week or 50,
Yeah,
50 hats a month or something? Because especially like if you get some Let's Go Brandon hats, and then if you like get some hats like dissing Trump and stuff, like both sides of the fence are gonna, dude, they were eating them up. It was awesome.
yeah, they loved
Yeah.
them, man. That was one of the shows I had the most fun at. Like just because the crowd was into it so much. It's not even the most expensive show I've had, but it was
Yeah.
fun, and that's part of what I like about live selling. And anybody that knows me, they know that my live show on my YouTube channel is my favorite part of YouTube too. I just enjoy the live crowd and hanging out and chatting, and it was just a lot of fun last night over at First Class Treasures because the crowd was so into the show as
Yeah.
well. They made it fun.
Well, it was some of those items. I'm like, wow, I don't know. Like, this is either going to go like really well, or he's going to get a lot of $2 bids and it's going to suck. But no,
Yeah,
it went super well.
Did you move all
yeah.
that inventory, Shane, or is there round two coming?
Oh yeah, there's
There's
more.
like round 4, 5, 6 coming.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Good. So
I
I'll be able
got
to catch one then. Yeah.
I completely filled my Jeep up. Like
Oh,
literally,
wow.
I have the driver's seat, and then that's where I was. The rest of the Jeep, the passenger, I had the seats folded down. I had to make two trips actually. I had to go back and get the last three containers because I couldn't fit them in the first time. So
Dude,
tons of stuff.
especially
A lot of
recent.
it's localized because he made some stuff. Like there's slate coasters and things, all kinds of like whiskey decanters and glasses and stuff that he made that are local to South Carolina. So like some of them have Lake Murray, which is here in town. Some are just South Carolina related, but so there's a lot of stuff that I won't take there because it is localized, and I think Violet and Retro Wasteland both live here in South Carolina, that come to my shows on a regular basis. But I don't want to bring that kind of stuff, and nobody else is going to be interested in it.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
I got to go through and sift through it. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff, man, that I haven't gone through yet.
Yeah. No, yeah, that'll be sweet. But yeah, and I'm so tonight I love talking in podcast form because we're recording today, but this goes live at a different day, and so the yesterday and tomorrow and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But tonight, Thursday, so in the past for all of you guys listening to this, WSC Random Relics and VW Collectibles are all going live on First Class Treasures. Dude, I'm nervous, man. Those guys are
Yeah, they're pretty. They can get pretty wild.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was funny. So in high school, me and a few of my friends, we decided that we wanted to instead of saying that's cool, we started to say things are bone, so that way we could set people up to say, oh well, you think that's bone? This is boner. So I was saying that in my live show the other day, and WSC and CW and all those guys were in there, and they were loving it. And so I think that's going to be one of the themes for the next few live shows. Is that joke is just going to keep circulating. It was so funny, like because like we even got our principal and stuff to like start saying, you know what's boner? It's so great.
Well,
like,
and
well, dude. So
that-
Jake got an 87 on his math test, but you know what's even boner? Josh got a 91. It was great.
What was funny about it is because that carried over into my show, because I sold a hat, Keith, and I'm not going to say what it was, but it had a picture of a male's
organ
genitalia.
Yeah.
And it had a little, quote saying with it or whatever. And of course the chat's like, oh, tag Jake on this one. This one's bone. That's even boner than the last one. And I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, these hats I had were insane, some of them, but they were buying the crap out of them. They loved them. But yeah, I just thought it was funny that conversation, because Jake had explained that story in his show. Hours later, I go live. 3 hours later, I go live, and here they come, and they're basically just carrying on Jake's little bone tradition.
Felt like I was 17 again. It was awesome.
Yeah. But those guys are wild, so tonight's show will probably be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're entertaining for sure.
But yeah, dude, my wife, so she started her new fitness account on Instagram and Facebook. It's actually going well. She's super pumped. She does a reel almost every day, and she usually gets about like 1,500 to 2,000 views already, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then yesterday she posted a really good one, and it got like 2,500 in the first hour. She's like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome!"
Nice,
dude. I'm super proud of her, and I love content. There's so many highs and lows, because it's like viral for you is awesome, but then it's like you get your first 80,000 view video, and then after your next one gets like 900 views, and you're like, "Oh, what's wrong with me?"
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that happened to me on TikTok. I'm not monetized on TikTok, and I had a video hit like 600,000 views.
That
and
shark
I was
one,
like,
right?
Yeah, the shark one, and it was just something fun I just wanted to do because I was, I was out of town and I saw it and I was like, this could be funny. So I recorded it, posted it, and it did like 600,000 views. And then nothing else I put up gets even, remotely close to that. But yeah, so I'm not monetized. I probably never will be. I don't do enough over there to build an audience, but I just thought it was funny that how I could have one video, get 300 views, and then all of a sudden this one it was the right time, I think, for that because of all the storm damage and a ton of people lost their homes. And I had so many comments saying, thank you for giving us something to laugh at and smile at. It's been, very tough and devastating and all this. So it made me feel good that I was able to bring a smile to people's faces, but it was strange to me
the way you did it.
Yeah, because none of my stuff ever gets that kind of views. So I was super proud of that one and happy to make people laugh. but 600,000 views for a 30-second video, I think it was, that
Yeah.
I just decided to pull over on the side of the road and make real quick.
Yeah, smart. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of you guys know I got demonetized on Facebook on my JRide Flips account for like some sort of copyright music or whatever. It sucks because I think that has 89,000 followers now, and I've stopped, like pretty much stopped posting on it. So like honestly, it might even be like 250,000 by now, which would be insane. But I got demonetized on it, so I started another one called JRide Picks. And that one's already up to 20,000 followers. Like it's growing even faster than the last one, which is awesome. But I got monetized at 5,000 followers on the last one. Now at 20,000, 19,552. I'm still not monetized yet. I'm like, oh crap. Am I not? Is it just like ingrained into my
hopefully
network?
not.
I hope not, because they say eventually my JRide Flips will be monetized again because it shows 0 issues and a completely clean account. They just have to have someone actually go in and click the monetization button on again. But I've seen reports of other people that say it takes like 9 to 27 months.
Jeez.
So,
wow.
Like up to 3 years, which is awful. But hopefully I can get the other one because, again, I'll be really transparent with people. Like I made $9,000 in 1 month off of Facebook content. Then they reorganized the structure again, but I was making $2,500 a month off of 60-second videos on Facebook. So it's not. That's why like entrepreneurship and stuff, it can be really scary if you don't have your system set in place. Because I don't think most people would be able to afford losing $2,500 a month like that. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So
that's
like,
a lot of money.
Got to build your systems, and you got to understand as an entrepreneur, like you're taking on that risk because you can make really good money selling things on eBay, and then one day eBay can deactivate your account, and you gotta, But if you have, that's why I recommend everyone to do, even if you hate the camera, like you should do content. Go put some stuff on Instagram. Maybe you'll get people to go over to your eBay shop and buy some more stuff. Maybe you'll eventually get monetized, but I think you need to have multiple streams of income because, like I said, I lost $2,500 a month on Facebook. I've stopped making YouTube videos, so I'm losing several $1,000s a month there as well. But we're still doing great. Reselling is still great, and real estate's great. We got a ton of other stuff cooking up, but yeah, like you can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of it too. So
yeah, you got to be able to pivot for sure. If something happens in one part of your business, you got to be able to handle that kind of change.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's why the current reselling state is so great, because like if you sell exclusively on eBay and you lose your eBay account, you can head over to Whatnot and you can head over to District and Mercari and Poshmark. You can start selling on Amazon, even though that's getting harder and harder by the day. But there's just a ton of different. I made up this saying in high school too. Me and my friends were idiots in high school. But I would always say it doesn't matter what way you slice the orange, it always tastes the same.
That's true.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's true though. Yeah.
It's funny. Now, my favorite thing on my mission was learning sayings in Spanish. They have some really weird ones. Like we say, like, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, things like that. Yeah. They love sayings, especially where I went in Mexico. And so my favorite one is, and they would say, if you already knew, why did you ask? But they would say that in really creative, rhyming ways. Mm-hmm. So they would say, I remember the first time I like said something, I like asked a dumb rhetorical question, and someone said, if you already sheet, then why did you blanket? And I'm like, what the heck did you just say to me? Because in Spanish, he said, si ya sábanas para qué cobijas? I'm like, what did you just say to me? And they're like, it's a saying. It means like, if you already knew, then why did you ask? And they're like, yeah, we say that in a ton of different ways. Like they said, if you already Frito, why did you Lay's? Like Lay's potato chips. They're like, si ya sábanas. I mean, si ya sabritas para qué cobijas? I'm like, what the freak? It's awesome. So I love learning little sayings. Like you can become fluent in a language and never become actually fluent. Especially like, dude, if you learn English and then you come to the United States and you're hearing kids say that's skibbity toilet, you Sigma.
Oh my gosh,
like, yeah. So it's like you'll unfortunately I haven't kept up on my Spanish super well. So I would still consider myself above conversational. If you drop me off in Mexico, like I'm good. But yeah, definitely lost a lot of that, and I need an excuse to keep up on it because it's very valuable. Like a lot
Yeah.
of times I'll walk into a gas station with my wife and a couple of Mexicans will start talking to each other. I'm like in Spanish, I'll be like, "Hey, I know you guys are talking about my wife's butt." It's funny. They're like, "Oh no, sorry, hermano, no, it's not you." It's funny.
I wonder if it would ever be worthwhile to like do like a voiceover to one of your like shorts in all Spanish,
Well,
just
dude,
doing
so
different.
my most viral Facebook video was I went to a yard sale in Vegas, and it was these two Mexican ladies, and I talked to them in Spanish the whole video, and they actually ended up like kind of robbing me. So like,
I remember that video.
yeah, that one got like 7 million views on Facebook, and she reached out to me and said, "Hey, like we really didn't try to do that to you, and this is like affecting my personal life. Like, please take the video down." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure," because I didn't have to, but like I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like this is a child of God. It's actually like affecting her, so I'm gonna take it down. But
Yeah.
yeah, I made a ton of money off of that video, and it was all in Spanish. And I was like, okay, yeah, so let me translate in English what's going on here. It was really cool.
Oh wow, that is cool.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember that video.
yeah, it was a good one. It did it was my first 3 million view on TikTok. Did like 7 million on Facebook. It did 7 million as a reel, and then 3.5 million as a video on Facebook. So like it made really good money. It was awesome. That's one of those things where like if I posted it right now on Facebook and it wasn't monetized, that'd be just so disheartening and disappointing because like,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah.
it happens. So I've only been doing JRide flips. I mean JRide picks on Facebook for like 60 days or so. So I'm hoping that it still will get monetized. But yeah, I mean I had a video the other day get 2.7 million views. I'm like, oh man, that's over $1,000. Sucks, but
So is it not like a
didn't get
set
any of it.
parameter you have to hit to get monetized on Facebook? Like it seems like
Yeah.
YouTube's more standard, but
So I'll show you guys here. So it's because they started paying for Reels on Facebook and Instagram, and they were losing money. So they like pulled the plug, and they're like, okay, we're doing it by invite only. So
oh,
if you go to my monetization, it says you are monetized, your page is making money, but it's only for stars, which is like a super chat, and
That's what mine is.
subscriptions. And then on the bottom, it says ads on Reels, and it says that earn money from Facebook from all your well-performing eligible content by invite only. So when I hit 5,000 on my last account, it immediately invited me, which was awesome. And then on this one, it just hasn't invited me yet. And I'm not. I've been at 50. I've been at tens of thousands of followers on Instagram forever, and I've never been monetized on Instagram. Not that Instagram really pays you anything for Reels though. Like I have a lot of friends that they're like, "Oh yeah, we're monetized," and it's doesn't matter how long the video is. It's like 0.02 cents every 1,000 views. So like if you get 1 million views, you get $2.50. Like
yeah.
that's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I'm really hope because like you guys can like. I hope this doesn't come across as arrogant. I hope it's like inspiring and stuff. But like all of you guys listening, you can create multiple streams of income and then just be set up. Like Deal Soldier, I had a Deal Soldier video that got like 18 million views across all platforms. My wife and I are retired if we want to be, like that video alone, just like it's taking care of our lifestyle, and then everything else that we do is just money on top because Deal Soldier is a service that people actually use that actually makes them money, and we get a nice affiliate commission off of that. And yeah, every month we just get our affiliate hits our bank account, and it's you know. So I'm okay. I mean, I'm not okay losing Facebook, but financially, like we can still survive losing $2,500 a month from Facebook because we have affiliates and we have reselling and we have multiple platforms and it's all good.
Yeah.
So
That's
all of you
nice.
guys out there that have stopped watching Trash to Cash because they don't even talk about eBay anymore, you guys need to buck up a little bit, Buttercup, and start making multiple sources of income. Because I'm not here to scare you guys, but they can be taken away from you. And if you don't have those other sources, you could be on the streets because Americans love debt. And a lot of you guys probably have that as well. But yeah, guys, we've been going for an hour and a half. I think it's gonna work out. I think it gelled.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you guys think we got good chemistry or not. But I think we're gonna keep doing this moving forward.
Yeah, I
awesome.
like it. I had
Look
a
forward
good time.
Yeah,
Same
you guys got anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, real quick. The crookedspine.com. We have a giveaway show, all giveaways. Thursday will be March 6th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it's going to start. I'm going to kick it off. I know Keith's going to be part of that. Beard King Picker from the Reseller Locker Room is going to be over giving away some stuff, and I think a few other people. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So join over there at the marketplace, thecrookedspine.com.
Nice.
Yep.
And then we don't want to shill this at all, but just like any other podcast here on YouTube, we do have memberships. We're going to be putting together some things where you guys can get noticed and things like that, and some perks. If you guys want to support us in this, I know Keith and Shane and stuff will all really appreciate the memberships.
Absolutely.
Obviously, don't feel obligated to do them, but yeah, we'll start featuring you guys and giving you some benefits of being members.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Keith, anything else?
Yeah, guys, if you want to check me out on YouTube, Vintage Sport Flips, I specialize in sports memorabilia, but dealing a little bit of everything. And you can find me over on First Class Treasures, Dibbed It, selling almost daily in some fashion. So, yeah, I'll see you guys over there.
Yeah, and then the last thing I want to say, guys, is we understand how lonely reselling can be. We're really excited to come and hang out with you guys every week. Please be very social in the chats. Please come talk to us over on First Class Treasures, and we're always hanging out in Dibbed It shows, and we really want you guys to also go to our Facebook page, Reseller Island Podcast Reseller Group over there on Facebook. Like, we really want you guys to feel like you're part of a community, and we're gonna do our best to be your guys' fellow islanders. So
yeah,
absolutely.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Bye,
see you guys.
Peace. Thanks.
Did that stop it? I don't think it stopped it.
Still